Hello and welcome back, my dear students. I know, exams are just around the corner and the tension is building up. But don't you worry one bit. We're going to tackle this ecosystem chapter together, and I promise we'll make it super simple.
Yes, मेरे प्यारे बच्चों, absolutely no tension. Think of this as your special confidence booster session. We're going to fly through this entire chapter in just about 5 minutes, and by the end, you'll feel completely ready for it.
Okay, so here's our game plan. Super simple. First, we'll say hello to the ecosystem and understand the basics. Then we'll look at how energy gets made and how stuff gets recycled. That's productivity and decomposition. After that, the flow of energy, followed by those ecological pyramids. And to finish, I'll give you my top exam tips. So, are you ready? Let's begin.
Right, section 1. Let's start from the very beginning. What on earth is an ecosystem?
I know the definition sounds a little heavy, but trust me, it's really simple. Just imagine a small pond. That's a perfect ecosystem. You have the fish, the frogs, the little plants, all interacting with each other and also with the non-living things, like the water, the mud at the bottom, and the sunshine. A giant forest is also an ecosystem. It's just any place where living and non-living things are connected and interacting.
So every single ecosystem has two main parts. First, you have the biotic components, basically anything that's alive, plants, animals, even the tiniest bacteria. And then you have the abiotic components, all the non-living stuff, water, soil, sunlight, temperature. Remember this distinction, but shown, it's a very common one-mark question.
All right, great start. Let's move on to our second section. Here, we're going to see how energy gets into the system, that's productivity, and how nature does its cleanup and recycling, that's decomposition.
Okay, now don't get scared by this formula. GPP minus R equals NPP. Let me make it super easy. Think of GPP, or gross primary productivity, as your total monthly salary. Let's say it's 1 lakh rupees. Now, you have to spend some of that on your expenses, right? That's R for respiration, the energy the plant uses for itself. Whatever's left over, your savings, that's the NPP, or net primary productivity. That's the energy that's actually available for the herbivores to eat. Simple, isn't it?
Exam alert! Pay close attention here. This is a huge favorite for the examiners. So what exactly is decomposition? Well, you can think of it as nature's ultimate cleaning and recycling program. See, when leaves fall from a tree, or an animal dies, it becomes what we call detritus, waste material. That's when the decomposers, our little heroes like bacteria and fungi, they get to work. They break it all down and return the essential nutrients back into the soil, making it ready for new plants to grow. It's the perfect circle of life.
And this whole process happens in 5 stages. Just try to remember the names. First is fragmentation, where little creatures like earthworms break down the waste into smaller bits. Next is leaching, where water washes some nutrients down into the soil. Third is catabolism, where bacteria and fungi simplify things even more. This creates humification, which makes that dark, rich soil layer called humus. And finally, mineralization, which releases the nutrients back for the plants. 5 simple steps.
Okay, Cello, moving on to section 3, the flow of energy. This is all about one simple thing, figuring out who eats whom in nature.
So basically, there are 2 main types of food chains. First is the grazing food chain, the GFC. This is the one we all learned in school. Grass is eaten by a deer, and the deer might be eaten by a tiger. It starts with living green plants, and each step in this chain is called a trophic level. Then you have the detritus food chain, or DFC. This one starts with dead things, like fallen leaves, which are then eaten by decomposers.
Now check out this quote. It's so true. In reality, nature is not a simple straight line. It's all interconnected. Different food chains cross over to form a complex food web. Just like those Instagram influencers show all the different things they eat in a day, an animal in the wild has multiple food options too. It's all connected in one big web.
Now this is one number you absolutely must remember. It's the 10% law. It's very simple. When an animal eats a plant, only about 10% of the energy from that plant gets stored in the animal. The other 90% is lost, mostly as heat. This is so important. It means energy always decreases as you go up the food chain. All right, we're almost there. Our second to last topic, ecological pyramids. Don't worry, this is just a fancy way of drawing the structure of an ecosystem to make it easy to understand.
For your exams, you just need to know these 3 types: the pyramid of number, which simply counts how many organisms are at each level, the pyramid of biomass, which measures the total weight of living beings at each level, and finally, the pyramid of energy, which shows how energy flows.
Okay, here's a classic 3-mark question that stumps so many students. In the sea, the pyramid of biomass can be inverted, upside down. Why? How? Well, it's because the producers are tiny little phytoplankton. Their total weight or biomass at any given moment is actually very small. But, and this is the key, they grow and reproduce super fast, so they can support a much larger biomass of fish that are eating them.
But now, listen to this very carefully. This is a golden rule. The pyramid of energy is always upright. It can never, ever be inverted. Why? Because of our 10% law. Since energy is lost at every single step, the bottom level will always have the most energy. No exceptions to this rule. Remember that.
And we've made it to the final section. My top tips to help you get full marks from this chapter. Let's quickly go over the absolute must-knows.
Please learn these 5 definitions by heart. Make sure you can write them out perfectly. Ecosystem, the difference between GPP and NPP, decomposition, trophic level, and standing prop. If you know these, you are guaranteed to get some easy marks.
Also, be ready to draw that decomposition cycle. Make sure you can explain the 10% law in your own words, and definitely know the difference between an upright and inverted pyramid, and of course, between a simple food chain and a complex food web. These are the examiner's favorite topics.
And that's it. The entire chapter, done and dusted in just a few minutes. See? It wasn't so bad, was it? You have worked so hard, and you know this stuff. Just stay calm, stay confident, and believe in yourself. You are going to do fantastically. All the very best for your exams. You got this.